The referral hospital project is a reality in the south, central and other parts of the French-speaking regions of Cameroon. Those of the English-speaking regions are yet to see the lights of the day, notably that of the southwest region. In this edition of the news, we take you to the abandoned referral hospital project in Boya, chief town of the southwest region of Cameroon. And also coming up, some students found in possession of Bibles, but unfortunately condoms in Banga in the Mungo division of the littoral region of Cameroon. It was in the course of a surprise visit to the school establishment by Tembo Christian, senior divisional officer for the Banga division. You also want to know the difficulties, challenges, and the sufferings of the people of the Bakassi Peninsula in the Indian division of the southwest region of Cameroon. These stories and more will be yours in this edition of the news. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for making the right choice. Thanks for choosing to listen to information on Equinoxe Television, our primetime news. We are live from Cameroon's economic capital city, Douala, Equinoxe Central News Desk. I am Fomi Armstrong Sunday. We begin with our top story. One of our top stories were in the Mungo division of the littoral region of Cameroon, precisely in Banga. Some posters were found in Government Technical High School Banga during a surprise visit of the divisional officer Tembo Christian for Banga. He, in the course of sensitizing school officials and students on the need to strictly respect COVID-19 measures, surprisingly saw some students in possession of Bibles, but unfortunately condoms, as Simat Jikan Gebe tells us in the following report.
Packets of preservatives and Bibles are some of the things which were seized from students of Government Bilingual High School and Government Technical High School Mbanga in a surprise visit made by the divisional officer Tembo Christine. These items were removed in a search orchestrated on the students. Mbanga inhabitants are left tongue-tied. I can't say anything about the Bible seized. Let the government see how they can stop the students from taking it to school.
If you don't choose for not take care for your life, then it's seen as one thing na preservative.
If they are taking preservatives to school, it is their choice.
Than your life.
School is not against school for.
It's no longer what we used to have in our days when we go to school. Now people go to school just for the certificate.
They want me to give you a diploma. So this one then whether they go with Bible.
Those who are going to school with Bible is their trouble. Maybe it's a set.
Still say, if you find say if you want enter for school, you get surveillance general them and so on. They must check Pekin.
Shockingly, most of those that Bibles were collected from them are not real students, but impostors. As they are like that, some of them are not students, though dressed in school attire. So they are not students. We are going to control them. They attack people, smoke cannabis, and fight in school.
Is that great?
While at GTHS Mbanga, the divisional officer gave this advice. Put on your face mask and wash your hands regularly, because there is danger outside. Those who don't have immediately will go out to look for one. The DO, who is on a sensitization mission to reawaken the minds of the students about coronavirus, which is real and still existing in Cameroon, has urged students to always have their face mask on and wash their hands. After Thursday's first control outing, the town of Mbanga woke up this Friday with inhabitants having their hands washed at specific zones with standing containers having water in them.
the situation in Banga in the Mungo division of the littoral region of Cameroon. And now we move to the Anglophone regions of the country, the regions buried in the over 3 years armed conflict. Worsening information has continued to stream in from the Anglophone regions. The most recent is the burning of the post office in Tobin, which is the administrative headquarters of Kumbu. Kumbu also is the chief town of the Bui division in the northwest region of Cameroon. And information we gathered in the early hours of today is that the post office in Tobin, the administrative headquarters of Kumbu in the Bui division, has been razed to ashes. The cause of the fire incident is yet to be clearly established by local administrative officials. Those are images of the Tobin post office. Kumbu, it should be recalled, for years has been a hot spot of violence in the northwest region of Cameroon, one of the two regions of the country engulfed in an armed conflict that has left thousands dead and several other hundreds of thousands internally displaced in other regions of the country. It is unfortunate. The burning of the post office of Kumbu has been described as a veritable loss to the town of Kumbu and the people of the Bui division. They noted that it took one of the key elites of the Bui division, Professor Fonlon, there is conviction on the part of the government for the post office to be constructed in Tobin. In Kumbu, it was burnt in the early hours of today by yet to be identified individuals. We are closely following up this story and sure we'll be coming back to it in subsequent editions of information on Equinoxe Radio and television. But we'll stay in the Anglophone regions of the country to say that the referral hospital project in Buea in the southwest region of Cameroon under construction and abandoned for several years. Some say because of the Anglophone crisis is now a shadow of what the people expected. It should be recalled that the abandoned referral hospital project in Buea is coming at a time when those of the other French-speaking regions, notably in the south, center and other parts of the French-speaking regions, has already been realized. The referral hospital of Buea was meant to be one in the two Anglophone regions of the country, noting that the northwest region does not have such a project. Derek Jatu accompanied members of parliament to visit the abandoned regional referral hospital project in Buea in the southwest region. He compiled the following report.
A reference teaching hospital under construction, abandoned in the bush in the heart of Buea, the southwest regional capital of Cameroon. Projects like this one, in their thousands, have been abandoned elsewhere in the region, with money, materials and time wasted in a country that majority of our population live below the poverty line. And everyone is blaming one thing: the war in the region. Since 2016, lives have been exchanged for the peace this region used to enjoy. And the youth, the labor force expected to take the nation to emergence by 2035. Most of them have been killed and some in prison. Pundits say the Anglophone crisis is crashing the nation. And today a delegation made up of members of parliament are here to see things for themselves and bring proposals on the way forward.
The purpose of the mission is to get properly educated on what the situation on the site is.
Headed by Honorable Etombe Gladys, the contractor was advised to include locals when works resume at the site.
The first thing is that we should encourage the contractor to come back on site. And when he comes back on site, the second recommendation is that he should do his possible best to employ local people
and collaborate with the forces of law and order.
You see, it is not enough for us to just say that where there is insecurity. There is nowhere in the world where there is no insecurity. There's insecurity all over, and people just have to learn to be vigilant and to learn to live with the situations that we face. If we work together as a team, we are going to move forward.
Separatist fighters' activities have been recurrent around this reference teaching hospital in the recent past.
One of the council areas in the Bakassi Peninsula of the Indian Division, Southwest region of Cameroon, is begging on the government of Cameroon to ask companies in charge of extracting oil from the Bakassi Peninsula to at least pay taxes to the council. The mayor says these companies have refused to pay taxes even with the new dispensation of the decentralization laws in Cameroon. The mayor Ifande Tongo lamented during an interview granted our Southwest regional correspondent Derek Jato in the Bakassi Peninsula.
She was born here some over 50 years ago, and she has witnessed a lot of changes from population explosion to increase in fishing activities, but not the expected development.
I born here. My father born here. I want better food in school, northern school and secondary school here.
Sources say it is regrettable that Bakassi Peninsula, which is always referred to as the most richest part of the country in terms of natural resources, don't even have the essentials like potable water and electricity. Locals here depends on solar and generators for power. The coming of the regional councils and the sing-song of special status for the regions of the Northwest and Southwest regions being promised that they will be at the forefront of managing their resources. Local authorities here say there's no green light in that direction. Mayor Etungo Efande, mayor of the Edabato Council, for instance, revealed to Equinoxe Television that some oil companies exploiting in his municipality have seen letters from his office requesting them to even pay taxes to the council as a child's play.
Those two companies, Adax Petroleum Company and Pelenco, every day I'm pleading with them, writing a letter, asking them their assistance. Since I took over, none of them respond. So I'm calling on government to draw their attention to follow contribute for the development in Idabato.
On the security note, the Bakassi population has applauded the security forces for rescuing the land from pirates.
The better security good here for us. If them not there for water, you go see other person where don't know if he carry gun, collect you something.
But begged the government to encourage the creation of banks to ease financial transactions in the zone.
One bank. If bank come here, go good for us.
And that universities should be created as well as hotels in the peninsula.
University, secondary school, primary school, good for us here. People they go here, people go northern school, after northern school, secondary school. When secondary school, small people go secondary school and university.
Bakassi, an area in Indian Division of the Southwest region of Cameroon, is ranked as one of the areas with huge natural deposit in the continent.
At a time when municipal officials or authorities are begging on companies operating within their municipalities to at least please deposit some taxes, even with the putting in place of the law on local territorial administration, that is the law on decentralization, the city mayor of Limbe, still in the Faku of the Southwest region of Cameroon, is strategizing on means to be able to raise local revenue. He has instituted the parking lots fee payment in Limbe, though with a lot of difficulties. The mayor of the city of Limbe has, however, warned drivers and vehicle owners against serious punishments if they fail to pay the parking lots fees in parking spaces within Limbe. David Simamo fighting the following reports from Limbe.
Automobile owners in Limbe and those entering the city have been cautioned that parking lot within Major Street in the city is payable. Limbe City Mayor Motanga Andrew Monjimba made the declaration in a press conference at the deliberating chambers of the City Council.
Road users should make sure that they are moving coins. We are not 500 francs that they have to pay for parking lots.
According to the city mayor, mechanisms have been put in place to make sure defaulters should not go unpunished.
This time around, we are going to take the measures that it takes to oblige people to pay when they are parked.
He used the occasion to call on business persons with parking lot in front of their business places to book and have total control of these parking lot.
They can at that time have the right to block their parking lots only for their clients.
Motanga stressed no one shall be exempted from paying the parking lot.
It is meant for everybody. Don't tell me I'm a mayor, I am this, I am that. No. Preach by example. So nobody is exempted from paying the parking lots.
With close to 1,000 parking lots created already, the project is expected to generate income for the city council, create employment, solve urban disorder, and beautifies the city.
It is intended to raise revenue, to take care of the numerous problems that are facing our town.
The project, created in 2011, Motanga admitted was poorly conceived and had some lapses.
The public seemingly wasn't sensitized. Some people thought that they were above the law.
The reactivation of the project, Limbe City Mayor said, in-depth studies have been done to make sure the project stays permanently.
The news of an eventual obligatory vaccination against COVID-19 is being received with mixed feelings by Cameroonians, even those of the war-ravaged English-speaking regions. In Kumba, some 3 students have been hospitalized and 1 arrested. The 4 students in the situation struggled and attempted to jump out of the school fence after they got information that there was going to be a mass and compulsory vaccination of school kids against coronavirus. Matt Jikan Gabriel completes the story from Kumba.
It was total chaos in Kumba this Friday as parents rushed to pick up their kids from both primary and secondary schools after a false rumor on the obligatory vaccination of pupils and students of COVID-19 spread across the town of Kumba. As a result of the incident, 4 students of Government Bilingual High School Kumba sustained fractures and dislocation on their legs as they jumped out of their school. The senior divisional officer of Meme immediately rushed to the Kumba District Hospital to comfort the kids. Here, the district medical officer, Lifande Emmanuel, debunks the information.
That nothing else has been done. So there is no need for any fear anywhere by any people or any student. In fact, the minister is not even planning any vaccination.
After the hospital, the senior divisional officer drove down to the Cameroon College of Arts and Science, CAS Kumba, to calm down the parents who came to take back their kids to their house.
That one is completely fake. Your students are coming back very soon. They will leave. Mommy, you don't just enter the school. Please,
as of the time of this report, Equinoxe TV sources in Kumba say 1 out of the 3 women who took the information to Government Bilingual High School in Kumba have been arrested, while 2 others are being searched for by security officers for interrogation.
And in a locality in Douala known as Bonadibong, over 20 houses have been demolished with hundreds of persons rendered homeless. 4 persons who are resisting the demolition exercise are said to have been arrested by security elements. Innocent as it takes us to the disturbing incidents at the Bonadibong neighborhoods of the Douala Free subdivision.
Hundreds of families rendered homeless following demolition of their houses in Bonadibong, Douala 1 subdivision.
Nous n'avons pas eu de sommation. À partir de 6 heures, qui vient seulement pour casser une vingtaine de maisons.
Le temps c'est le gouverneur dont c'est le grand blue. Il s'est même procureur.
We were surprised that the belief Maitre Guillefon was accompanied with policemen of Zemi that come and destroy us. Without informing us, put away and secure the goods and things. Now, as you have seen, we are just surprised. Was our black king to say something? Cameroon is a bilingual country and the country of law. They cannot destroy. We have many people, children, workers.
Victims say an individual has been claiming ownership of these hectares of land they constructed on.
Depuis 2012 que nous sommes devant les tribunaux de Douala.
Since 2012, we have sought judicial actions in Douala, but he corrupted judges. We decided to go to the Supreme Court in Yaoundé, where he relinquished. We proceeded to the Ministry of Land Tenure, where the settled land title was cancelled. From the decision, he was notified, as well as the governor, senior divisional officer, and his collaborators. But to our greatest surprise, we saw him accompanied by demolition agents backed up by some security officers to demolish our houses.
Avec les bras qui sont venus seulement directement nous casser dans les maisons.
Après qu'on a annulé le titre foncier, nous voici dehors.
In an attempt to resist and present documents, 4 of the demolition victims were arrested.
3 or 4 persons have been arrested and wounded.
Ils les ont pris. Ils ont tiré sur un garçon au pied.
They shot a boy on the leg. He has been hospitalized. Despite this, we were still intimidated by security forces.
L'autre qui tirait par terre, il dit que moi il va tirer sur les gens. On a dit que mais attention, vous dites que vous êtes pour la sécurité. Un commissaire de 4e grade comme vous, 4 étoiles, vous pouvez agir comme ça, vous ne voulez pas écouter les gens.
Now my food this way they don't take gas la motion. They don't blow my food with I know the worker. I don't know.
My leg has been injured by a fired tear gas.
I see that's a police. I want to ask you. I hear that's a gas. I want to run. They don't blow my food with I know the worker. That's so I don't know how I do. I don't know how I will make up.
Apart from inability to work, she and others do not know where to restart life, as they have also lost valuables and documents.
Now picking down for us, all them. They never go to school. Then they for upstairs. So all things those scatter. All things those scatter. You know, I move not to except it close the way to move. I'm now so.
On my field like this, the documents are all destroyed. What can I say now for firm that I have dossiers?
Tous mes documents sont épandus au sol. Qu'est-ce que je deviens?
The demolished are hopeful the government can still be of help.
Je demande au président de la République de faire quelque chose avec la pandémie. Qu'est-ce que nous allons devenir?
Challenges in Bonadibong neighborhood in the city of Douala, precisely in the Douala 3 subdivision. And of course, it should be recalled that officials of Betwa in the east region of Cameroon are trying to mitigate the negative impact of the deficit in shops, a situation that has created chaos at the Betwa central market. Some workers have, however, rather traders have been asking for more shops, while shop owners have increased rents. And of course, it is a disturbing situation. We shall be coming back to that report. It's been done by Immaculate Fogo. We sure will be broadcasting that report tomorrow. But now we'll talk health before we go to the second part of news. Coronavirus across the world, in Africa and in Cameroon. To say that COVID-19 cases have continued to rise in Cameroon, Africa, and the world as the second wave, that is the second wave since a wave, the second wave of coronavirus since a disturbing wave signals across the world. As of 8:00 GMT this February the 19th, 2021, the global number of positive cases stood at some 110,325,628. Recovered cases stood at some 62,127,222. Total deaths stood at some 2,441,917. And in Africa, precisely in South Africa counted a total of 1,498,766 positive COVID-19 cases. Some 1,403,214 cases have recovered, and the total number of deaths in South Africa stands at 2,327 cases. It is the worst hit country in Africa with regards to the coronavirus pandemic. And we come to the sub-Saharan African region to talk about the neighboring Federal Republic of Nigeria, where the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as of that same period, counts some 150,246 positive cases. The recovered cases in Nigeria stands as of 126,417, and the number of deaths in Nigeria stands as of 1,803. And in Ivory Coast, another country in sub-Saharan Africa, within the same period, the country has recorded a total of 31,612 positive cases. The recovered cases stands at 29,937, and the number of deaths recorded in Ivory Coast as of that period stands at 186. And finally, in Cameroon, which is one of the countries in sub-Saharan Africa, is counting a total of 33,749 positive cases with 31,362 recoveries. A total of 523 persons have died of the second wave of coronavirus in Cameroon. The information was made public by Manahuda Malashi, Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, who also used the occasion to call on the people in Cameroon to strictly respect the 13 measures against the coronavirus put in place by the government. The minister warned that the second wave of COVID-19 is real and disturbing. Ladies and gentlemen, that health report brings us to the end of the first segment of news. Coming up is Talking Point. We are proposing a new phase on Talking Points today. You will be seeing Gentle Clovis. He is a history teacher and a political analyst. He's coming from Boya in the Southwest region. Gentle Clovis, thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thanks very much, Mr. Armstrong. I'm happy to be here. I think it's my first time to be on this platform. I'm happy to be here.
It's actually not your first time on the media, but your first time for
it's not actually on
Equinoxe.
On Equinoxe, my first time.
Of course,
not
you are
on the
a
media.
political analyst, a history teacher. Now we start with school, which is a part of your specialty. Now, when you watch a report like that of the surprising visit of the Joe from Banga, he goes to the school, students are caught with Bibles and at the same time condoms. What impression do you make of that?
I think that is what we are calling social ills. That is something that is been stepped in Cameroon generally, and we have been praying that there's need for Cameroon curriculum when it comes to secondary school to look detailedly when it comes to teaching of religious studies in school, because we are having what we call moral decadence with young Cameroonians, youth, especially social media and other things that make them, they are becoming wayward. So there's a need for school sensitization. Religious studies should be taken compulsory in school so as to
when I was in secondary school, we had religious studies. Is it still the case now?
No, it's still there, but it should be compulsory. They should make religious studies.
As of now, it's optional.
It is optional. It should, yes. And for me, it should be compulsory because by religious studies being compulsory, it will make students to know more. Because most of their behavior, this wayward behavior, because there's the fear, absence of the fear of the Lord in them, because they don't read Bible. They are more closer to their phones and download things that will not help them instead of reading the Bible. So if the government put in place, make religious study compulsory, like mathematics and French and all that, I think so they will force to read Bible, and by reading Bible, it can somehow to an extent bring them back to their normalcy, because most of them are wayward.
But Cameroon is a secular state. When we talk of religious studies, what was taught in school, was it only about Christianity?
No, when we talk of religious study, on the other hand, we can also talk, we have the Muslim, on the other hand, they can use Quran.
Islam?
Islam. They can use Quran. I think I'm not only talking about Christians with the Bible, with the Muslim, they can also use Quran.
But in schools today, I want to talk about my secondary school days. When I was going to my school, we had the main entrance to the school. When we come time our bags were searched and all such things will have to be removed, even who gain access into school. Is that the case today?
No, we are not officially, there are no disciplinary masters there, but there are disciplinary masters in almost all the school. But there's a problem. We cannot be comparing our days with this present generation. They have all means, all ways to do it. When they plan to do evil, they have all means to do evils. That the disciplinary masters are there and they are playing their role. But unfortunately, all means to do evil. So it's in schools.
But being as a teacher, you must have some psychological, some knowledge on getting to get the psychology of students. Now, when students come into school campuses with condoms, what are they meant for?
That is what we should go back to what I'm talking about. Social is, unfortunately, that is the negative aspect of social media today. I've had an experience where a situation as a classroom teacher where I was teaching a particular class, but students focus seriously on WhatsApp, playing a video. When I go closer to the I discover watching about these pornographic issues. That is one of the negative aspects of social media we're talking today. But I think we still say that it's high time that students should be, our children or our youth should, there's high time that they should, their morality, because it goes back to what I said, they need to be educated. Morality. Most Cameroonian youth, 70 to 60% of Cameroonian youth, they don't have the fear of the Lord. They say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And we cannot have children that in the morning, some their assembly, they don't even pray. I'm not only talking of our Christianity, even in the Muslim world, because we talk of Cameroon as Christians and this, they don't pray. That's the only thing that we can stop this problem. Educate them, they have that morality in there, that ethics in there, but they don't have it. No respect for the elders. In some situation, they even beat the discipline masters. In some situation, it is world. We have seen situations where they even kill teachers.
At least we have a report that's going to be aired on the French news. Unfortunately, we could not have that report in the English news, where a discipline master was severely beaten by a student. That's in Buda, in the west region of Cameroon.
Well, even if you talk about beating, not 2000, we have seen 2020, 2019, a teacher was killed only by a student. They have been killing teachers. That's why I'm saying that there's a problem with our youth, social ills, and the only my own point of view, I think the only best thing to do with our youth is that religious study should be made compulsory in school. I believe that if students are closer to their Bible, they will have the fear of the Lord. And if they have the fear of the Lord, all these social ills will to an extent reduce. But unfortunately, even the Bible is there with religious study. What about Android phones? Where when you go there, you download a lot of pornographic things, a lot of social ills circulating on social media. So it is a problem, but they need to be regulated. And from my own point of view, they can only be regulated by reading the Bible or making religious study compulsory in school.
Is there also need to control, at least to probably regulate the access to Android phones as far as students are concerned?
To an extent, we can do that. They are doing that in secondary school. There are many secondary schools that they don't allow students to have access to Android phones from 7:30 to 3 o'clock or 3:30. But after school, they still go back to the Android phone and work with it throughout the night. And it has become a problem for we as teachers because they spend 24 hours on this, and that makes them. That's why we're talking about our days. Our days, we work hard to read. To succeed, but now most of that they spend time on Android phones. I become a problem for teachers in class. You explain and take it over and over, they don't understand because they spend most of their time.
Thanks. We must proceed. Now, you are a political analyst, apart from being a history teacher. You have been following the crisis in north and southwest regions of Cameroon closely. Now, at this level, people are beginning to raise concerns of the non-implementation of issues that came out of national dialogue, major national dialogue. Some of them included at least the PPRD, that's the Presidential Plan for the Reconstruction and Development of the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. It was one of the projects that was well painted, and the government and its officials, after appointing the coordinator, Paul Tasson and Vice, said it was a project that was going to rebuild back the projects and the regions and get people relief of the losses they incurred in the course of the crisis. But as of now, it's still in the pipeline.
When I heard about this presidential plan for reconstruction and development, when I look at the selection, I was very happy, Mr. Armstrong. I was happy with the selection. Happiness with the sense that when I look at the chairperson, Minister Paul Tasson, the Minister delegate in Minister of Economy for Regional Development. When I look at the selection, for him being the head, I was happy because when it comes to economic planning in Cameroon, he has done a lot, and I have read his biography a lot related to that. I was also happy because he is politically, I was happy that his deputy is John Donatus. Yes, the former mayor of Kumbu.
Actually transformed Kumbu.
Yeah, excellent. So
being one of at least or the second or the third most developed town in the Northwest region.
Excellent. So for my selection politically, I was seeing Minister Potterson representing maybe as CPDM and John Donatus SDF, making it politically balanced, not only from one political party. Okay. I was happy for that selection. Secondly, I was happy from where they are coming from. Mr. Potterson from Southwest, from the BLA particular, and then John Donatus from Northwest, and from hard hit. Recently,
is the hardest locality
excellent. And then Bui is the hardest in Northwest. Recently, we are talking of what happened to be in Kumbu.
Yeah,
and then we have seen what happened not up to 4 days today that 3 traditional were killed in Libya. So it is. I was happy with the selection because they are from hard hit, and it stands as an assignment for them to support what they are supposed to do to these areas. But now coming back, Mr. Armstrong, I'm seeing the step. Just like any other Cameroonian, I was asking myself. I called the plan. An excellent plan. It's a 10-year program. It's a 10-year program. The first 2 years, 10 years program. Reconstruction of schools that have been destroyed. Reconstruction of market hectares and other areas have been destroyed in the crisis. But our problem that most political analysts, most critics keep asking is, this Marshall Plan to reconstruct Northwest and Southwest. We Cameroonians are asking, this Marshall Plan, how would it be carried out in areas that the crisis is still ongoing? I think that's the problem. Although I follow some of their meeting whereby they were discussing that they will start from areas that are normal or peaceful before going to areas that are hard hit. But with the presidential plan for development and reconstruction put an end to the crisis.
Since the major national dialogue, at least in areas that are less that is violent, we are not seeing the effects of the plan in terms of reconstruction, in terms of building what has been destroyed. We can talk about Limbe in the Southwest region and Kambe in the Northwest region. None of the structures have been the reconstruction is actually not taking place.
Yes, they actually is not taking place. They are still on the process. They are still on the process.
But the delay now, politically, is the delay a dangerous situation?
It is to an extent. It is an extent a dangerous process. But Mr. Moderator, I don't always like to be. My point of view, I keep saying that I think we should end, if there's a way to end the crisis before the reconstruction issue, it will be better, because while the construction is going on, cleaning is still going on. Anything that we are doing in Cameroon that will not end the Anglophone crisis is not what we want. We want end to the crisis before anything like reconstruction. If we reconstruct and people keep dying, there's no problem. We had a major national dialogue, and Cameroonians are still dying. Is that an end to Anglophone crisis? Let's stop killing in North and Southwest. Cameroonians are mature enough. God should stop talking and let people talk. You should use our wisdom. Let people talk and not emotions. We should put away pride and bring in humility. People should sit on the table and discuss and put an end to killing in North and Southwest.
Before we move out of this situation, we are running out. Before we move out, now the fact that what has been promised is not being implemented. Is it? You already said it's a dangerous situation, but now is it playing in favor of the Yaoundé regime, in favor of separatists?
I think I don't want to be calling state group and non-armed group. I cry of the civilians. They also are in the highest victim of this crisis are the civilians. That's why I keep saying that if there's a way that the state group and non-armed state group can transfer their weapons to where, because they are having weapons. The common man who is dying, the civilians. But I cry. This presidential plan is very important because from the humanitarian aspect, where the IDPs and others can benefit from the humanitarian aspect, because they are working in line with the United Nations Development Program. But I will still come back to say that the cry here is the civilians. The reason why we are crying the Anglophone crisis to come to an end because of the civilians. Those people who are armless, who are dying day by day. And I keep saying that. I keep saying every day that if you are in the position to put an end to Anglophone crisis and you think that you will not put an end because nobody will do anything to you, there's time for everything. You can be above man but cannot be above God. People are dying every day. Look at what happened to an IDP in Fombat, whereby he was tortured, whether rape and killed by somebody. We are seeing many people dying every day in North and Southwest. They are human beings. We cannot politicize lives of people. So, Mr. Armstrong, I'm happy to be here. I have a lot to talk about. We are working against time.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Gentle. We hope to have you next time. Of course, you are making a beautiful analysis of the situation in Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. It was nice having you.
Okay, thanks very much, Mr. Armstrong. Happy to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was nice having you with us in this second segment of information. Stay in the company of Equinox interesting programs continue on the best of television across Cameroon and the Central African sub-region.